All right, this video is going to walk you through how to find the missing side of a right triangle when given a side and an angle. In a right triangle, you can use this idea of sine, cosine, or tangent. It's easy to know which one's which by memorizing the word SOHCAHTOA. The word, or the letters SOH, they stand for the sides that refer to sine function ratios, which are opposite sides and hypotenuse sides. The K in SOHCAHTOA stands for the adjacent side and the hypotenuse ratio. And finally, the TOA is the last one here. That deals with the ratio of sides that deal with the opposite side and the adjacent side. Now, none of this really makes any sense to you if you can't identify what is opposite and what is adjacent. So I'll try to explain that next to you here. So if you talk about your house, let's say you live at this house that has this star here. If you're going to refer to your neighbors, the neighbor that's across the street, we'll call that hypotenuse street. That neighbor across the street, they're considered opposite from your house, straight across from. The neighbor, if you look at your house from the street, the neighbor to the right or to the left of you, they are what we would call the adjacent neighbor. So you have those kind of things to look at when deciding what is opposite. So opposite is straight across from, adjacent is right or left next to. Now, as you're looking at this question next on our triangle here, we have to first of all figure out where is the street. The street always goes through the box and it goes out to the side that's across from it. That side that's across from that is the distance of the hypotenuse. So that X represents the hypotenuse. Now the question is, where do you live? You always live at the angle that's given to you. So if you live at this one right here, you're going to live right here at this location right here. That's you. Now, if we talk about where is this 13.8 determined by where you live, well, that's across the street, which then makes this an opposite side of the street, which makes this the opposite side of the triangle also. So what you're working with here is the hypotenuse and the opposite side. The only function up here that does the opposite side and hypotenuse is this function right here, the sine function. So the way you're going to write the work to do this question is, first of all, now that we've identified that it's a sine question, you're going to say sine of where you live, in this case here at 69 degrees. That's going to equal your opposite side of 13.8 over the hypotenuse. Now, if you're wondering why am I making the fraction like this, because it says the sine function is supposed to be opposite over hypotenuse, where the opposite side again is 13.8 and the hypotenuse is your x. So from here, the question is, how do you calculate this? Well, if your number that you have, the x that you have is in the denominator or downstairs, like you see right here, then you're going to divide. You take the number that's in the top of your fraction and you're going to divide that by, or divide that into the sine of, or sine function, cosine, or tangent question. So that's what we actually have here. If the x, however, though, does show up in the top of the fraction or on the main floor of the fraction, then you're going to multiply the number that's given to you in the fraction that's on the bottom, and you'll multiply it by your sine, cosine, or tangent function. But since we have our number in the top of the fraction, or since we have x in the downstairs, we're going to divide. We're going to take this 13.8, and we're going to divide it by sine of 69. So sine of 69. Oh, what am I doing? We're going to divide by, we're just going to use the word divide here. Divide. We're going to divide by the sine of 69. So on your calculator, type in x equals, and we're going to do 13.8 divided by the sine of 69. Now, as you press those buttons on your calculator, the final answer then comes out to be 14.782. So x equals 14.782 units. That is how you find the missing side, determining first of all, where do you live, and then where is the side located in respect to where you live. Well, that's opposite, and the hypotenuse is always, like I said, found across from the box in the triangle, which makes x your hypotenuse. So opposite hypotenuse is sine, and that's how we got to our answer by dividing 13.8 over sine of 69. Hope this video helps.